give me pla long. Or wrongs, or life, me pla. Me pla no clean man. Me pla got sin. Me pla come long way, Lord throne below you. But me talk thank you because Lord die below you. You give me a second chance to live. Lord, me pray, Lord, all honorable members of this house, both leaders in the opposition and government. Me pray, Lord Prime Minister, as me lead him this nation. Me also pray, Lord opposition leader, Jim Ting long tupla one time so that all he can steer him this nation. Long make him sit down, long me pla good pla. Lord, me pray, Lord, people of this nation. Some probably start long mountain, nambis, valleys, long every blow me like asking spirit blow you can stop close to Lord like company more. Lord, this I pray, me asking you. Want them pray when you line in me pla, that you stop Lord this like ground. Our Father, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
Thy be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power and glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
Honorable members, I acknowledge the presence of the public gallery of the students and their teachers from Koyari Park Adventist Primary School in Central Province. On behalf of the Parliament, I extend to them a warm welcome. Clerk, petitions, notices. Honorable members, question time. The Honorable Member for Porgera.
Thank you. Acting Speaker, looks awelo. People of Porgera. This question blooming golong. Mining Minister Basins. The plan of Mining Minister directed Golo Prime Minister. In regarding CDA, Blomi Lopogara. By one time, by people Lopogara, now Lendro Lopogara, by Garim Nala CDA, people wait long time. Time we wait, a mountain Blomi Lopogara, and go down yet. People talk 10 years, but it's like 10 years, I mean, enough. Every day, blast come up, mine go down. A mountain go down. Na resource blomi or kisim lo ground blomi. Na people blo pogara need lo sabe. One time ba CDA blo pogara come up. Comments. Nubla managing director or appointing finish lo MRA. Amogara side blo government and morat badlo mi lo lendonas mi wait yet. Mi no kisim royalty blomi, equity blomi, IDG, BDG blomi yet. Na mi still stop yet. So. This is a question, Prime Minister, please, you clarify all people, Blumilo, place, all RM staff, one time, CDA go on. Thank you.
The Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, me talk thank you, Lord, Member Blong, Porgera, Paella, Lord, asking this important question in respect to CDA, Community Development Agreement. Nubla Porgera. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the mine is in operation. I mean, produce finished. So far this year, paying 700 million kina takis, winning record law before underneath law NUPLA benefit sharing agreement. Government negotiate one time investor partner, and of course me play securing belong me long country. Underneath long this negotiated outcome, landowner benefits is accruing as we speak. As I speak, over 200 million kina misilan long trust fund money belong all papa ground in respect to equity. As we talk over 100 million misilan long account in respect long equity belong Enga provincial government. If like Iliapinis time if like renegotiated Nubla Pogra, we have secured 51% on our side. Of that 51%, 15% belongs to the landowners and the provincial government, but the negotiation between benefit sharing between state and the landowners and provincial government has been completed, by the way. Me like giving Belly Silong a member house and cabinet approving penis. The template belong benefit sharing, especially outside of Brooklyn 3% royalty, the 15% equity, one time based on consultation, number long provincial government, landowners, MRA on behalf of the state. There was a request for additional equity. Come inside, cabinet look finish. The full cabinet decision has been signed, in fact, signed off by me already in the not too distant future. When Parliament rises, I will make it my business as a Prime Minister or Minister oversighting mining right now to meet the provincial government and the landowners to get on with the business of concluding the CDA and allowing the benefit entitlement to flow. The member, a good member, he also questioned in his question, and we talk one of by happened long IDG to the people of Pogra. I want to give assurance that IDG he stopped, we allocated him last year and this year. We're also working with Pogra, new Pogra Mining Limited for an increase in tax credit allocation back to the province to ensure we settle some old Pogra outstanding issues. A key outstanding issue belong all Pogra and resettlement. Member I made it clear from the SML project area that the mine is happening for the benefit of the rest of the country. And members of parliament here, the mine is right in the mine pit is right in the middle of villages, SML villages. Villages called, for instance, Karik, Kulapi, and a few of these villages they live, and we in the new Pogra we want to relocate all of them outside of the SML area into the surrounding area for a permanent resettlement, so that they could be properly settled and allow the mine peripheries to be fenced off. And to make sure that illegal miners do not access the mine pit. This is a work in progress for us. I want to thank the member for his support. I want to raise my support to my appreciation on behalf of the government and the people of the country to his late father, the first member for Pogra Paila, the late Maso Karipe. He was instrumental in the current CDA that we have concluded. I want to also raise my heartfelt appreciation to all of Enga leadership, led by Grand Chief Peter Ibaras. There's been a strong support of the new Pogra. It is shaping out to be a mine that is producing more for our economy. In fact, much of our economy in this outlook in the medium term is dependent on Pogra's functionality. We will deliver CDA before December 25 this year. And as it's delivered, I look forward to working with the leaders in Enga province and himself as a member of Pogra for a better new Pogra as we work to get more from the resource that is coming back to our people and to our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise to ask a few series of questions, not just as a Deputy Opposition Leader, but the district where I come from, I'm affected, and I share the border of Indonesia. Mr. Deputy Speaker, my question before I ask a series, I would want to give a context to the issues to the Prime Minister. So let me give a context of the issue that we face as a province and as a country. Then I would ask my series of questions. Mr. Deputy Speaker, for decades, PNG government has chosen silence on West Papua. Despite killings, despite displacement, and despite minimum of 15,000 refugees crossing into my district in Western and Southern provinces. And current government is quick to speak on conflicts thousands of kilometers away in Middle East, Europe, where PNG has no border, no refugees, and no direct security implications. Mr. Deputy Speaker, furthermore, the situation in West Papua constitutes clear breaches of UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the UN Charter, and the fundamental disciplines of international laws. Papua New Guinea's continued inaction and silent risk being interpreted internationally as tacit endorsement of these violations. Mr. Deputy Speaker, on the 5th of November, Australian Senator Lydia Tope called out the region's hypocrisy on West Papua, calling out the Albanese government, just like past governments, remaining silent and complicit, allowing the atrocities to continue with impunity and even providing military equipment to Indonesia. But here in the parliament of the country, most directly affected, with blood ties to fellow West Papuans, this government refuses to say even a single word or take the lead in advocating for West Papua self-determination at international forums, including the UN General Assembly. Mr. Deputy Speaker, that is not neutrality, that is fear. And it undermines our dignity as Melanesians. I stand this morning as a Melanesian man with a black skin here in this honorable house, just as the Prime Minister whom I'm asking, I raise this to whom he calls himself Las Papua from Atari district where he comes from. Estimates to date shows over 5,000 West Papuans have lost their lives fighting for their identity, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Their land, their lives since 1960s, and it is happening right on and across our border. 500,000. How many more lives should be lost before we take the matter seriously, Mr. Deputy Speaker? The Prime Minister, apart from our non-actions being a blatant neglect of human rights violation, this is also a regional security issue where Indonesians military have intruded into PNG territory that we must address to maintain peace in the region. My questions are, there are 4 questions. Number 1, Mr. Deputy Speaker, why is PNG government willing to issue statements on wars in distant regions, but refuses to address the clear breaches of UN DRIP, the UN Charter, the international law occurring in West Papua, including the killings, displacement, and allowing refugees crisis unfolding directly on our border? Question number 2, Mr. Deputy Speaker, what exactly is the government afraid of? And why can't we establish a parliamentary committee or inquiry into what is clearly a matter involving serious human rights violations, potential crimes under international law, and the security of our own citizens in the border provinces? Question number 3, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is this silence truly foreign policy, or is it submission to Indonesia? If PNG claims to uphold the UN Charter, UN DRIP, and international human rights law, why can it not even allow this parliament to examine an issue directly affecting our sovereignty, our borders, our security, and our fellow Melanesian people? Question number 4 and the last. Mr. Deputy Speaker, given the government's refusal to acknowledge ongoing breaches of UN DRIP, the UN Charter, the international law in West Papua, can the Prime Minister confirm whether PNG's foreign policy is now effectively outsourced to Jakarta? If not, will Prime Minister commit today on the floor of this House to establish a full parliamentary inquiry into West Papua, or admit to the nation that we are unwilling to uphold even the most basic human rights obligation of a Melanesian identity and international commitment? Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, for the series of questions asked by the Deputy Opposition Leader and the member for Northfly. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in the first 8 years of my life, I lived in his electorate and the electorate next door, which is a Teleforman electorate. In my life living there, from 1972 to 79, I spent years in a refugee camp, so I understand clearly. In between that, with my old man, we move in and out of refugee camps. So I do understand clearly what he's saying, and I do understand where he's coming from. I want to give assurance to this country and to Indonesia and to West Papua and to all Melanesia that when it comes to Melanesian human rights, James Marape or Pangulet government or anyone for that matter will always advocate for Melanesian human rights. And I want to say in his question, paraphrase, in I think question 3, question 4, are we scared or are we outsourcing our foreign policy to Jakarta? Far from it, there is no element of scared. What's the English word? There's no element of, we're not scared. English is not my best language. So I'm trying to get the right words connected. There's no element of fear. There's no scaredness on our part in respect to the issue of West Papua to be addressed, especially from the context of human rights. I want to offer counsel to all of us. Sovereignty issues is different from human rights issues. Sovereignty is a different matter. We respect the full sovereign integrity of the Republic of Indonesia. But when it comes to human rights matters, if I can, through you to the Deputy Speaker, to Deputy Opposition Leader, if I could summarize these 4 questions in my reply, all in all. There is no element of scaredness to Indonesia. There is no element of control in respect to our foreign policy by Indonesia. We respect the United Nations Charter in respect to defining sovereign territories. Papua New Guinea, as it was at 1975, since we established bilateral relations with Indonesia up till today, has not changed in our foreign policy outlook in respect to sovereign integrity of Indonesia. Mind you, Papua New Guinea ourselves, we have a test of sovereignty running as we speak to the Bougainville issue. So we have the test of sovereignty running through the Bougainville issue. We have no moral legs to talk about other nations' sovereignty. But I want to point to the human rights issue that I think was the major gist of the Deputy Opposition Leader's question, which is a right question, by the way, in respect to human rights that may happen within our doorsteps. And I want to give assurance to all Melanesians. At all forums I am presented, as a Melanesian leader, I advocate for human rights of Melanesia. Whether it's Pacific Island Forum nations, whether it's MSG, whether it's United Nations, and not just a public forum like this, different forums that I attend, meeting rooms, medias, and parliaments or chambers like this. And I want to give assurance to
We have a point of order, Honourable Prime Minister.
We respect and understand that the Prime Minister on a personal level makes commitments. I think the question from the Deputy Opposition Leader is in relation to government policy, not the Prime Minister's personal feelings on the matter. Thank you.
Honourable Governor, I think the Prime Minister is still in reply, so we'll take note of that. Allow the Prime Minister to reply.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, the good governor for ECP's pointers are noted. In the personification of myself, I hold my views and the government's views together in the office I occupy. Mr. Deputy Speaker, and as I relate, this embodies our government's view. Firstly, foreign policy has not been altered in respect to Indonesian sovereignty. Secondly, our commitment to human rights values is maintained. If any atrocities happen in West Papua, we have every right to speak, and I want to inform this House. And I thank President Prabowo. His first visit after being elected into office or pronounced elected as a president in waiting, he chose to visit Australia, and Port Moresby came here, made a bilateral visit with me. In our meeting, one-on-one and collective meeting, it was expressed. And sometimes it pays to sit and listen first before hastily jumping on your feet. Because some meetings take place you're not privy of. And the Prime Minister has attended those meetings. And in those meetings, we do outlay what is our position. President Prabowo, as well as President Widodo, where I said in my 6 years of being Prime Minister, the privilege of working with President Widodo and now President Prabowo, they've been informed clearly our concerns on human rights. To our Melanesian brothers in West Papua, James Marape, this Pangulet government, and this country, including the opposition leader who asked, the deputy opposition leader who asked this question, as a concern on human rights on the other side. I want to tell this Parliament, we are never silent on human rights issues. In all diplomatic channels, whether through lodgement at the United Nations, or at PIF conversations or MSG, or bilateral with Indonesia, human rights issues in respect to Melanesian people are always relayed. President Prabowo has given me assurance that human rights issues will be looked at. In the PIF meeting I attended in 2019, August 13 to 16 it was, that PIF meeting, a resolution was passed. Again, PNG, in the construct of the text, verbatim of the resolution, we contributed in that meeting substantially. Our contribution goes to this space, not just affirm human rights issue, but look at the cost of the human rights issues. Look at the cost of the human rights issues. Member will not fly. Member will not stand up until you talk about it. We got to treat it diligently with respect to the sovereignty, but preserving our people's right to exist, right to their land, right to their culture on the other side. And that has been clearly expressed in one-on-one bilateral meetings, in nation-to-nation bilateral meetings, and of course, the maintenance of our government policy since 1975. In case we forget history, it was a Pangu Party policy in 1975, and we maintained up till today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Kainantu.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people of Kainantu. I'd like to direct my question without notice to the Minister for Works and Highway. I'm going to be basically following up on questions that I have asked, and I think I've alerted him. My questions firstly relate to the maintenance of the Highlands Highway, the water rights to Kainantu section of the highway. I once raised this question here in Parliament on the quality of work and the standard of work that has been carried out along this section of the highway. I have questioned the ability of the contractor that's been selected, awarded a contract to do the maintenance under the rehabilitation program, and the manner in which it is carrying on the work, and ask if Works Department was closely
monitoring and supervising the works there. The good minister assured me that the highway was now better than ever before. But we still continue to, and that is a joke, Mr. Deputy Speaker. We still continue to get the bitumen that has been placed on the road getting peeled off after a week or 2 weeks. And to date, it is in worst condition, whilst the contractor is still on the job. And we're having problems there. And we have these recent events of the highway robberies and the shooting of a bus driver as well. Because the roads are so bad that vehicles have to slow down to negotiate the potholes, the craters that are appearing on this part of the road. And that provides an environment for criminals to plow their trade there. And in the process, we had this issue. If the roads are smooth, if the roads are wide, and the vehicles are driving at a speed, a lot of these problems will be avoided. And so the good minister will now know and realize the reason why I've been asking this question. My question now is, can the Works Ministry go back, inspect the quality of work and the standard of work that has been undertaken, take the necessary measures to have the road properly repaired, and if the contractor is not performing, can a decision be made soon to terminate the contract of the particular contractor? The contractor has been on the job for how many years, and there is nothing good happening there. The second question is, there is a lot of encroachment on the road corridor. So we all understand there is a 40-meter corridor. But if you go through this section of the highway, you find that the people, locals have moved closer and they are building houses, planting cash crops and even trees very, very close to the road. And they're not allowing for the contractors to widen the road, to create a road that the vehicles can easily flow. That's the Works Department plan. Because initially when we heard about this highway rehabilitation project, we also heard that the road was going to be widened. But to date, this section of the road is very, very narrow. And people have built right on the roadside, within a meter of the road corridor. As we understand, there is a 20-meter corridor on both sides of the road. Can the Works Department move to have this corridor, road corridor, secured, to clear it up, free it for the traveling motorists to use, and for any development that the government may want to put on in terms of road rehabilitation and extension? Up to now, it is difficult. The contractor is having problem, and so the contractor is restricted, and that section of the road is very, very narrow as I'm talking. So that is my second question. The third question, Mr. Speaker, relates to my question earlier about the Kainantu to Okapa, Lufa to Bena Road Chilean. My question I have to ask in Pidgin because so many of my people live along that road. Planti mi member lo istinalan saya, mi stop lo desta road ya, mi support tim government ya. Na planti sambla ol minister staff. Na minister mi no sabe suppose ol member lo istinalan so lo totok. Mi ta so mi lo totok lo desta Okapa, Kainantu Okapa, Lufa, Enganofi road. Planti 1,000 ban minister lo desta road ya. Na question now mi asking Pinis. Na mi like him time mi asking that question, Prime Minister I take note. Na mi sabe Deputy Prime Minister na Treasurer to sabe. Mi planning member staff mi bin talk on the something. Na mi put him submission scoping nigo for 102 million. Only come back na to government talk by put him 87 million kina. All push him igolong ADB. Lo make him na emia close lo sa parliament by finish now. Minister, question bro. There's a road you kept saying in the budget na emba stop lo connect PNG or you ba konilo pushimi golo han go EDB. Na supposed to stop me like now sabe when in time work must start. People voice na rent Big plan number establish la road masabi now. Na mi luki wa barata establish happy amino sa totoko. All passimo sister. We establish opposition and we totoko la something sister because this is economic backside boom blow this plan. This la province is Netherlands. Na is Netherlands, that is now district here. 5 plow, 6 plow district here. Only equal contributors by station too. Now you plow walking road, you go plan happy connect PNG. You plow putting money, you plow walking road, you go sample happy no man logan you plow walking too.
Honorable member.
But this plow you plow looking here, planning man minister. Now one time you plow making. Minister, now you keep talking straight. When time are you working? Prime Minister Sabi, there's a time, there's a road must come up. Thank you.
Honorable Minister for Works.
Thank you, Member Blo Kaidantu. Every good plan law. Talk na regime all. I think good plan you start with na you harim too. I think you stop law parliament, you start law meetings too, but you start law way money blue stuff. But just you run around, and but you don't have start law way money blue stuff. Through you, Speaker, thank you, law. Good law, question law, member law, Kainantu. Every regime.
Honorable members, allow the minister to respond to the question.
Pertinent questions you regime law, road law. All Kainantu, now also road law. Road start law. Najab. Road start law, Najab 10 off na Gogota law, Enganofi bridge. One plus contractor is stopped now, you got 3+16, all you cut in this road. So this road, contractor me walk go finish. You go law, road law. Highlands Highway come over the road me finish. Contractor me still stop law this section. You talk long end. Time contract work me finish. All contractor by still start law work for maintenance. So road still go finish, but time still go finish. All weather conditions, all flood, all situations, every have time lo bagarim road can. That's why contractors have still start yet lo display road lo maintaining. Lo display year budget for the first time, and then lo Marabe Rosso government at lo connect PNG, me play kisim 100 million budget maintenance. You can build roads, we can build new roads, but if we don't look after the old roads, also the road by the tree rate, na don't have a growing economy. Highlands Highway is a very important road. And road maintenance, must stop. So this player 100 million come in. People start, we're going to put him money long, start maintaining this road. You know, Highlands Highway, that's all, but you got roads, all national roads around the country. So this all sections, road, you talk to Yongi, come down to Kasampas. Namel, this Kasampas, come down, Kasampas, we got all conditions, road, through the weather, even say, all right. Some block sections down low, now some block sections simple. So underneath this Connect PNC program, now underneath the Marabe Rosso government, we play all engineering team where only design him. All designs were enough with standing all weather situations. That's why now Highlands Highway. Simbu, there used to be a section where critical, Simbu section, now no more critical sections.
Minister, we have a point of order.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, if the Minister could not labour on bragging about the Connect PNG program and specifically answer the good member for Kainantu's question about the road going back to Okapa through Lufa. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable member, your point of order is in order. The Minister is still on the question. He will.
Put blood leaders down now, wait na harimo the talk. He also must appreciate I want to get the background so you are fully aware of how the road is
Order,
being maintained on that
order.
road.
Honorable members, order. Allow the minister to reply.
Sabla Taptok, thank you. So this road section, we are still working on it. And the maintenance team are on it. And we continue to maintain the road. And also after the road is continue maintenance, all sections were in all right. We also have the second phase, which is the bridge program. We put him up close to by 61 bridges. 10 more bridges to be put on that Highlands Highway. So all questions, please, lo kanantu name, lo kanantu na water rice. Isplahap, Kasampas, have me apply onto it. We are still putting money on the maintenance to improve that road conditions so that road me usable long all line Lomdala Highlands. All bitumen you talk to long and yes, all potholes na all seal all you walking finish time big pla trucks this pla road to all heavy trucks. Now all napla conditions that me factors that me talk to long and me sawe tribe law Pagaram road so we are on to it on the maintenance. So this plan me work long end. Online law all second question or napla statement you ask him law encroachment into all houses where me come and say close to all works long end me play got this plus standard 40-meter corridor M road is up 20-meter each side all man is up long way long road but along the Highlands Highway is a different story. Road now is up long end me play can go that road that me play still maintain him now me play travel. If we start go inside can months have come inside what the can cost. Ground. Planty line too. Time look road come. All man six him house come cross to the road look see compensation. Demand lo compensation. And there is a comment up there. So up in the Highlands, it's a comment. Once the road goes, people start bringing houses close to the road and making difficult for the government, also the contractor to build and extend the road, continue till the road. So this play me give me hard time, but you as a leader, you stable ground, you must also talk to a lot of people as a leader too. Talk road come, service block government come, you go stop long way Greek, so that all contractor na government took the road come, you make him service. So I work with you as a leader talk to this plan.
Honorable Minister, we have a point of order. Member for Kanantu, what's your point
Thank you.
of order?
My point of order is that it is a real issue now. If you start addressing it about along the Highlands Highway, you will begin to see the same thing happening all over the nation. You have to enforce this. You're passing that back to me. I can talk to the people, but your works, the state owns the corridor, and you use the machinery that is available to you, whether police or defense force, Kumul force, whatever you have, to clear the road corridor. If you don't do it now, you will continue to have problems. Your contractors will not deliver. So that is my point of order. Look, what I'm asking him to do is, that's why I'm asking the question. Use the powers that you have, use the law that you have, use the enforcement machinery that you have.
Honorable Member, your point of order is in order. Allow the Minister to continue on. I think he's on the reply to your question, so allow the Minister to continue.
Time me plan extend him, we can work partnership with DDA and provincial governors. But once we start working, the situation gets bigger and bigger. That's where we are coming from. So you as a leader, you have to be there. So this plan, that's the situation. But as a government, responsible government, we take into account those issues and we'll work towards how we can address those issues. Second, all points play you, law. Or road, I'm going to 10 points, but or road law, Okapa, na Lufa, Kainantu, me got 5 million blow or road maintenance blow Okapa. Every come inside finish. Me got 5 million blow Lufa maintenance, 5 million come inside finish. The contractor is on the ground right now at Lufa. Now Okapa this week, I'm also funds by go out. So I'm go towards the end of the year. So some fundings or roads, Kisip, the contractors are getting their payments. This time towards end of the year. So once they get a funding, they will continue to work towards end of the year into the next year. And then we go into the next budget next year. So we are attending to those roads as Lufa Okapa Road is a coffee road and it's a very economic road that we are away. This government is responsible government and we are aware where we are putting the road to. We are not putting roads to nowhere, but we are putting roads to there is economic benefits that we can get. And Lufa Okapa Road is one road that is very important road. So people walk along this road. And I ask him you. I think all this all questions you ask him and me. Or
We have a point of order. Honorable member. Minister,
I'm talking about upgrading. I'm not talking about minor maintenance every year. I'm talking about, my question relates to the upgrading and sealing of the road from Kainantu to Okapa, Okapa to Lufa, Lufa to part of Enganofi, and then to part of Benabena in Unga Bena district. It's a commitment where the government has made, and that's what I'm asking. And I gave him a bill of quantities and a submission for 102 million kina for the sealing from Kainantu to Okapa. And we were informed that 87 million kina was allocated for this road in last year, and then now he's only talking about the 5 million kina is allocated for minor maintenance. My question is, but they said it was going to come through ADB. My question is about the ceiling. When will this happen? And can you put it under Connect PNG? And if it's in this year's budget, and if it's in the budget, when is it going to occur, or when is it going to happen? But people have been waiting, and that's why I said it is like this government's commitment for this road to be sealed.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. We do not have any budget, 87 million for this year budget for the road. But Bipla got program law ADB, and there was some killings there, and the ADB and the contractor move out. Until now, we are still putting down money to maintain the road, and we haven't got into sealing yet. We will consider that road next year, but it's still under ADB. So that's the road for Lufa Okapa. That's why we don't know where you're talking about that 87 million. We plan not budget by 87 million. So budgeting go down, we will put money down to seal the road. But when there's no money put down for sealing road, we put down money for maintenance. Upkeep the road, road, starving up law. What is time you start sealing? So that is your answer. Deputy Speaker.
We have a supplementary opposition leader.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, before mixing supplementary question, may I ask for an extension of question time, please?
Honorable members, the question is that the question time be extended for 20 minutes. Those in favor, stand. Honorable members, absolute majority. The question time is extended by 20 minutes. Let's make use of the 20 minutes to add many members to ask questions. So please put your questions in brief with short background and reply. Please get your reply short so that we can have other members also use the 20 minutes. Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. If I've heard clearly, the member for Kainantu also asked a question on compliance to designs of road. I did hear the minister briefly mention something about design works. My supplementary question to the minister is that very recently, similar to what's happening in the Highlands, very recently we had an issue up the highway here, the Hiratana Highway, and there was a clear washout of the roads. And one of the committees that I'm a member of went up to inspect the roads, and these complaints are similar to the Highlands Highway. And if I may connect that the design of that road, the design aspect of that road comes into question. And my basic question to the minister is, what measures and processes do you employ to keep road contractors checked and being honest as they sign off before roads have been handed over to provincial provinces? Because this question that the member for Kainantu has raised is a very important question, in that the material application to those roads do not comply with designs. And if the minister can answer, the site engineers and the road inspectors who are out there inspecting the road works, do they holistically check and make sure that before sealing of the roads, that those contractors have complied to the design works or design standards for that particular road? Legal question, Mr. Deputy Speaker, if I may add, number something, this is a grace period after completion of the roads. If the road begins to crack after 2 weeks or 2 months or 3 months, there is serious design defects in the construction. And someone needs to rise up and begin to ask the pertinent questions why there is a crack on the road within 2 weeks or 3 months of completion of that road. And so that's basically my question to the minister. Thank you.
Minister for Works.
Thank you, Opposition Leader, for this supplementary question. On the roads, many roads right now that we are maintaining, some roads are colonial roads, the roads that was built before. And then we have now having ADB through consultants and also our government PNG funds that we start getting in consultants to try to look into such situations. Like all contractor, all designs, all working, carry go down, they work. Once the contractors complete their job and they go, in 4 months, 5 months time, problem will come up again. So these are some of the things that we are addressing. How our consultants and the consultants can design, redesign, or design. It will take a long time to design him go through or roads where by naplo Mr. long time. All time contractor come in and use him all this lah. All designs lo build him, or roads lo seal him, all bridges, or walk him all bridges now also lo seal him or roads where by stop long time. That's why we have consultants, we have engaged consultants, contractors, consultants to come in and do certain roads that we give them. We ask them to do designs, details, come up with the costings. So we get the costings and then we start using those costings to get to the tender. And once the contracts are awarded to contractors, we have also the consultants, engineers, and also the contractors, engineers. The consultant engineers are engaged by works. They work with the contractor engineers as well on the ground to implement the road sealing or any bridge or road work will come up. So supply time, all engineers, contractor, use some formula good, lo sealing road, na mix him good through all tar, all seal, all kind of formula or same. Sometimes it's happening. But it's the work of the engineers. That's why we have come up with, underneath law, last 2 years, we have now put up consultants, contractors, and also our consultants to work very closely with the contractors to deliver roads. That's why we are taking these measures. And some of the roads, like especially when you go up to Highlands Highway, ADB is taking control of this road because ADB come up with their consultants that to designs that can withhold flood, weather, and kind of stuff. So the road is coming up. Very good on this road. And then also on Nabla roads, kind of say Hiritano Road, now you talk to Hiritano and design detail come out finish. We have now 3 contractors on the road now. The work mobilization is underway. And we will continue to fund them this year, next year, to continue to seal the road from Laloki all the way to Kerema. So, we plan start now improving all this plan, all design details where before this will come up long because whether the property need to move along. Go different. Our engineers are also designing roads in a very high level designs where we can withstand long time. So these are what we are doing, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Wewak.
Question without no diploma, me like a directive golo good bla Minister of International Trade. Question blome molsem. Good bla Minister, me talk thank you. Lo good bla work yokim lo people belong New Britain oil palm. Now you increase him payment blow by 7,000%. All people belong me lo true oil palm lo Wewak balso manem. You got some look savel albi moltu or no gat. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Minister for International Trade.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And I like to thank you, member long. No, you will work long, good question. I need to give him some background law parliament, so by what a member by understanding background law. This la court said last week. The mediated agreement you working in Kokopolo last Thursday, because you got far-ranging implication in the oil palm industry. Mr. Deputy Speaker, start below the slime last year, 13th of July. All oil palm farmers in Eastern Britain totaling 15,000, only giving one a petition. Long government time me plagolo any seal or rabaul. Na basic complaint belong all emolsem. All palm growers lo is Britain inox same price. I need the national price formula or some line law West New Britain. Because you know got government legislation and cover him. All SABL, all palm operations, Turbo, CPIC, Wanimo, parts of Pomio, any government legislation. So basically, time online kisim SABL leases now only go on site. Only starting oil palm, low light belong all without any oversight body, not legislation and covering. So in the case of East New Britain, the farmers were getting 10 kina per metric ton when the national price formula in areas were covered by the OPIC Act, only work 700 kina per metric ton. This was going on for 10 years and no one listened. So they were robbed of at least 7,000% in prices. Number one issue. Number two, Olani Gonzan Nagsim ground long all. There is no lease because the SABL lease is nullified. So all go land grab the planning all palm lo like long all. Narble issue and Molani give him lease per ground long all. They were getting only 5 kina per metric ton. Lo ground long all is leasing fees. Or renting ground long lo companies. Because you know got oversight body and no got oversight law. Although you got Ministry of Oil Palm, he stopped. So I took that complaint petition back to Cabinet and we decided to launch through the government funding of $1 million kina. Me talk thank you to Prime Minister and NEC. Me launch him investigation, which I brought the report all the way to Parliament. Now we discovered that the people of East New Britain, if we had applied the same national price formula, they would have been paid 38 million more over a period of 10 years. So somebody robbed them of 38 million, if you like. Narbla issue price only no ground all too low. So on the back of that NEC decision, Olenonos Kisim Company go to court. I, as the state minister responsible for investigation, I joined them as a party to the court case, so that we can seek compensation and increase low prices. The court basically agreed with the NEC decision long, only must pay. The court stopping company law operate for 3 months. And that forced the National Court to order the mediation, headed by the retired judge. And last Thursday, we will conclude negotiations and sign a historic negotiated court agreement where now all companies agree that as of the 1st of January next year, they will apply the same formula, national price formula, and the prices will increase from 10 kina for last 10 years to over 600 kina per metric ton. M1 plan. Number 2, price by increase to 7 kina from 5 kina low line dissim ground per metric ton. So that's the decision when people agree last week. Now implication of this law all Narbla area where people complain long to Rubu now Narbla area most. Plan the outstanding issue is stopped. Court has already made a decision which is now the precedent for the rest of the country. So me suggest him long. All good black governors now, all members of parliament, all area concerned, that you need to articulate him good or complain you blah. Sim come na mi ba my colleague all prime minister na mi blah by look how we can best help you on the back of this landmark decision. Number 2, I am also taking a NEC submission, Misalim Golo Cabinet Aste, for a total overhaul of the oil palm legislation, so that nobody can come and start any oil palm. There should be a regulator, inspectors, and you must apply one price formula to everybody, so that in future we don't have the similar experience. So, me suggest also, member Vivek na governor long mi plalo isipik, you will sit down talk na articulate the issues clearly na karim kam na immigrant look how we can help you line lo Wanimo or line lo Pomio and other areas who are also affected and need to be helped. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a supplementary member for Alatau.
Yeah. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My supplementary in relation to oil palm, and thank you to the Minister for making a commitment with the oil palm Minister to bring the legislation that we've been anticipating. My supplementary is in relation to the VOP growers who intend to extend the oil palm growing, but because of the RSPO restrictions with the milling companies, we are not able to expand. Can the Minister inform this House on his plans on dealing with this issue? Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Minister.
I thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you, member of Alatau, a very important question. Under RSPO, you know, not planning oil palm, where you cut in bush, you deforest. Because all buyers now talk no hard buy oil palm, it's like an area where you deforest. All by buying oil palm, the place where you got kunai grass or some civic plain. Now the areas got kunai long. So the companies are worried about not being able to sell the palm oil in deforested areas. Because the most markets now talk no hard law. Buy oil palm law area where you deforest. So that's something that the Minister for Oil Palm and the new legislation should look at. How can we go around that when it comes to extension of BOPs, so village oil palm projects where we are deforesting. So I'm standing by look policy now, consult with the industry, and especially the milling companies, so you can work out how do we get over that when it comes to RSPO. So I'm standing by Milusim, lo colleague Minister Blomi, lo oil palm, lo must address him in the new law and policy that he needs to bring to Parliament and to Cabinet and Parliament. Thank you.
Governor for Southern Highlands.
Minister, but I mean, stop so Prime Minister can answer it. In relation long changing of the PPC for Southern Highlands with replacing it with someone from my electorate who resigned in 2022 to contest the Nibakurubu electorate. Me like ask him, Police Minister, whether this law change through or not, because it's only a phone call away and I could be consulted or provincial government can be consulted that we are doing this. I'm not aware. So me raising this law, suppose I'm true. I think that's politicizing police leadership in the province. I mean, interest for provincial government, people of Southern Islands. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Southern Islands, we have planned the trouble fight. But thank you, Papa Gorosem. As I speak now, there's no trouble fight. There's significant progress, stability, order in one of PNG's most difficult electorate. Niplo too, subnational government, I mean not just ordinary government department. Under the Constitution, the organic law creates subnational government. We must be respected. I'm not pushing nothing. These are state institutions. So I'm no interest long province. I'm no interest law and order law province. You gave me the new PPC. We brought in the 350 police reserves. We are making some progress. And he's been performing there for almost 1 year. So Miller asked him, Prime Minister, through the appropriate agency and appropriate minister to rescind this. This is a hotspot province we are talking about.
Honorable Governor, we have a
you
point
have
of
it.
order.
That's where the interest is.
Honorable Governor, we have a point of order. Honorable Minister for Defense.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. With due respect to my governor, police and defense are state agencies created by operation of Section 188 of the Constitution, and therefore their operation are not subject to any political interference. We should not bring operational matters on the floor of Parliament, because many of our meetings in caucus and in Parliament, we do criticize the Commissioner of Police for not doing his job. But the biggest problem also is with us politicians. We do interfere into the operations and make PPCs become.
Honorable Minister.
My point of order is that we should leave constitutional officers alone and not politicize. The law does not say that governors should be consulted before operational issues like change of PPCs, appointment of DCPs or ACPs are made.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
Honorable Minister, I take note of your point of order. I'll allow the governor to finish his question, and it is the Prime Minister who will be respond to the Honorable Governor, and that concern that you raise is the Prime Minister who will then respond to the Governor on that. So let the Governor to continue on his question. Governor.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, we have a country to run. We have a country to run. The police department, the PNG defense is not a private security for anybody. Protect the institution of governance. I'm not playing gambles in Southern Highlands. I'm dealing with the lives of people. Have some respect.
Honorable Governor, make your question.
So in the interest of the province, I ask the government through you, Deputy Speaker, maintain stability, peace, decorum on the ground. Respect what we are doing. Thank you.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. I'm only a human being. I lost the gist of his question. Can I ask the governor to repeat his question, please? I'm not a computer to record everything, and in the midst of many of these crossfires, I may oversight the main questions he asked. I was more bordering on statement and question, so can I have the questions clearly so that I could reply appropriately?
Thank you. Honourable Governor, I think you have already made much of the question. There's interference in the point of order, and the Prime Minister hasn't got the right of your question, so can you just put on the question straight to the PM? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. First question was, can the Minister confirm the above purported news of the change of the PPC for Southern Highlands true or not? If true, why politicizing work of police leadership in the province when we have stability, progress, order, no trouble fights is happening? We were inundated with trouble fights recently and classed as one of the 3 hotspots in the country. That's the second question. Third question, even if it is an operational matter for a police commissioner, the Constitution and the Organic Law promotes consultations and consensus between levels of government as guiding principles, even where those principles are not justifiable in courts. The decision affects the progress of peace and law and order in my province. I should have been consulted as a matter of respect and courtesy. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I want to appreciate the Governor's question, and I commend his leadership in the province, a province that has been known for much restlessness and lawlessness, and his leadership in the last 10 plus years, going 15 now, is commended in the middle of many struggles. Whilst I concur, we want to keep the police force at arm's length from everyday interference with, from us as elected leaders. Section 197 of the Constitution, if I'm not wrong, clearly established police as a constitutional office that operates with or with no instruction from us as leaders to the police commander, police commissioner rather. But due reference to leaders telling on imminent change or a change that has happened is thus required. We have a commissioner who does call to leaders to inform on what is happening. I will get full information from the commissioner. I am not privy to the change that has taken place. This is happening at the operation level that I had no full knowledge of, although based on hearsays from leaders who do contact me. I want to inform the governor through you, Deputy Speaker, if I could get a full answer to him as to what has happened, and if the outgoing of the PPC before has been relocated to another province, another posting, then who has assumed that office? He did mention there's a former candidate of an electorate that has taken up PPC appointment in Southern Highlands. If it is so, then so long as you replace one to get a better replacement. If he's better than the outgoing PPC, then I have no problem with this one. If he's not better, every appointment must be done on performance. And we're seeing a breakdown in command and control, if not from the commissioner down, then certainly at the operation level. Many PPC, there's a need to infuse leadership at the PPC and operation levels. I did inform, I think 2 weeks ago, the police minister to suspend many police activities, recurrent police activities over the festive period. In December, January, pull all PPCs in for training. If the PPCs are stepping up, then the command in the provincial police operations would be much, much better. instruction has gone out already that he pull in all PPCs for a training in December, January, just to have a handle on this law and other issues pertaining to Southern Highlands. I am not privy to the changes. I will get full information as to what happened to the outgoing and who's incoming. If the incoming is better than the outgoing in terms of ability, then the incoming remains. If the incoming will not perform better than the outgoing, subject to assessment by the police commissioner and the deputy commissioners and ACPs that PPCs report to, then those due considerations will be made in the interest of Southern Highlands or all provinces for that matter. Good PPCs must be in place with minimal political influence. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, our question time has lapsed. Papers, Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, pursuant to statute, I present a treaty document relating to the ratification of Papua New Guinea and Australia Mutual Defence Treaty known as the Puk-Puk Treaty. Mr. Speaker, I seek leave of this Honourable House, the National Parliament of Papua New Guinea, to make a statement in connection with the treaty.
Is leave granted? Make your statement, Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is an absolute honor for me as the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea to seek leave of this August House and introduce for its consideration, debate and subsequent ratification of the Papua New Guinea and Australia Mutual Defence Treaty, also known as the Puk-Puk Treaty. This treaty was signed by myself and the Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Anthony Albanese, on Monday, the 6th of October 2025 in Canberra, Australia. The signing represented the firm intention of both sovereign parties to be bound by the provisions of this landmark arrangement. As Prime Minister, it is my duty and priority to inform this Parliament of the treaty status, seek a thorough debate, and secure your crucial support for its ratification. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Puk-Puk Treaty is a significant, pivotal defence arrangement designed to embrace alliance and significantly modernize the defence cooperation between the independent state of Papua New Guinea and Australia. It expands our cooperation beyond traditional defence domains into critical new areas such as cybersecurity, space, and electromagnetic, as well as warfare and many other programs going forward to a future befitting of our defence force that is ready to handle any challenges our country may face. Crucially, this agreement elevates the Papua New Guinea-Australia defence relationship to a legally binding commitment under international law. It obligates each nation to carry, it obligates each nation to come to the other's aid in the event of a national security threat, aggression, or armed attack against their territorial integrity and sovereign independence. This commitment serves both as an essential security guarantee and a powerful deterrent to potential adversaries. This treaty is PNG's first formal comprehensive defence treaty with Australia and represents a progressive elevation of defence relations. It provides a modernized platform to enhance capabilities in our land force, air force, and sea force, while addressing the new dimensions of global security arena in the electromagnetic warfare. Mr. Deputy Speaker, just for the records, not part of my speech, but for the records on the handset, in 1975, under NIDLONG, Defense Force Visiting Forces Act. In 1977, you even got only call him Status of Force Agreement. An international agreement, for instance, on line below Southern Islands, Yemi clear law defense works departments are stable of many, now making work law, Southern Islands law works engineering, na Sambla Ponalo country. So from 1977, coming up law 2013, Yemi stop underneath long law, or call him Visiting Forces Act, the Defense Force Act, this Status of Force Agreement, law 1977, and sent up. Come, long 2013. 2013, then government, you making right decision, you mean signing Defense Cooperation Agreement, from Australia, law 2013. Now, based on need, you mean now him go along Defense Treaty, first treaty arrangement with other nations we have relationship with. Plenty of Nabla country, you may get SOFA, or Status of Force Agreement, or you may get DCA. Australia now, you may elevate him, go on top, or Defense Cooperation, something you may not have him, and close proximity, believe me, want them Australia, and our shared history. So, I don't know the thinking, this black government, he decided, you may elevate him, go along treaty. In a sense, a treaty is a framework that significantly enhances the capacity, capabilities, and interoperability of PNG Defence Force and the Australian Defence Force through a joint training, exercise, operations, and coordinated responses to complex security challenges. Honourable Deputy Speaker and distinguished members, the Pukpuk Treaty is founded on the highest principles of mutual respect for sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. This does not mean we have subsumed our territorial and sovereign interests. Rather, within the domains of our sovereign interests, we established this treaty for coexistence. This cooperation is based on deep, trusted partnership and shared history that binds our two nations, reflecting our close proximity and our shared regional interests. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Pukpuk Treaty is an essential step in modernizing our strategic defense arrangements. So this Parliament ratified a treaty. Our enhanced alliance will deliver substantial, tangible benefits. Firstly, amongst many, it will enhance national security through shared resources, intelligence, and advanced capabilities to counter common threats. Secondly, increased deterrence. Our collective defense agreement provides a strong, unified posture that deters potential aggressors. Thirdly, improved interoperability. Its standardized procedures and joint training enable seamless and effective combined operations. It gives access to resources, includes access to advanced technology, equipment, and specialized expertise from Australia, for PNG Defence Force, and of course, the promotion of regional stability and cooperation, solidifying our roles as key security pillars in the Pacific region. Mr. Speaker, if I could add, after we've signed this treaty, some of you may have read, Singapore entered into similar security arrangements with Australia, and I want to inform this House, we have consulted far and wide, we have consulted all our bilateral partners, we've been transparent, all of them knows clearly what we're doing. It is more for our internal sovereign protection than participation in any external threats elsewhere. Furthermore, Honourable Mr. Deputy Speaker, this treaty provides the legal basis for the Pukpuk Treaty to be implemented under domestic law, especially the Defence Act 1974. It will enable the PNG Defence Force to grow and develop an appropriate organizational structure befitting a modern-day military force capable of meeting all of PNG's national and international obligations. Mr. Speaker, we are not a small country. I will come to that later on. We are a big country. Our defense force needs to be strengthened. Our defense force needs to be capacitated. Under a signing, under our ink, we have now elevated our capacity to the Australian Defence Force capacity at the ability this treaty has to mobilize a response much faster than later. Mr. Speaker, this treaty also provides a framework for Papua New Guinea citizens to be recruited into the Australian Defence Force. offering greater employment opportunities and brighter future for our youth. Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, you would have heard the Australian Defence Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Richard Marles, a very, very close friend of Papua New Guinea. The first time he came into Papua New Guinea was in 1984 to walk up to Mount William and Mount Hagen. He has announced already that over 10,000 Papua New Guineans will be recruited, will have the benefit of being a dual citizen, Australian citizen and PNG citizen. Recruitment pathways being opened for them to work and report to the Australian Defence Commander. Whilst our own defence capacity that we want to build up to a force of 7,000 to 10,000, we'll also look at those who are employed under PNG Defence Force. But this pathway, this treaty opens a path for over 10,000 Papua New Guineans who want, if they want to be employed, if they want to enter Australian Defence Force, it opens up this path for them to go into service as an Australian Defence Force member. I am committed, Mr. Deputy Speaker, to ensuring that all Papua New Guineans are safe and secure. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I want to inform this House, as Prime Minister, my #1 job also, and possibly is being this country's Chief Security Officer. Right now, Mr. Deputy Speaker, if someone chooses to invade, whether it's 1 meter or 1 kilometer, or the entire country, as your Prime Minister, since 1975 up till today, we have not built the capacity of our defence force. As an admission, our country have no ability to defend our sovereignty if an attack takes place today as we speak. Hence the need to make this treaty possible, Mr. Speaker. This treaty is not ratified for implementation. I beg your pardon, if this treaty is not ratified for implementation, the PNG Defence Force will struggle to develop the necessary capacity and capability to defend the 10 million plus people living in the 462,840 square kilometers of land within the 3 million square kilometers of ocean space. Our space is big. We're not a small island country, we're a big ocean state, ocean nation, big landmass, big sea space, big population. Our defense force must have the capacity to stand up to defend the people, the resource, the waters. And you will ask me this question, Mr. Deputy Speaker, then why not invest? Well, from Defense Force Operation Plan and Development Plan, if we are to invest on our own, we must be willing to part way with over 1 billion kina of PIP funds every year, consistently for the next 10 years. Then we can arrive at the defense force we want for our country. This one gives us a quicker, easier, faster access, not just for our own domestic capacity upskilling, but more importantly, if we have 10,000 Papua New Guineans living, saving, working as members of the Australian Defence Force, by blood they're inherent to their call of duty back home. Anything happens, they're responsive to come back and defend their motherland. It is in this context. Whilst today we are at peace and there's no imminent threat on our sovereignty, our leader and our leadership generation must look into time, not just today, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, 30 year, 1 generation, 2 generation. What is the construct of the country the next generation down the line? Is it a weak, run-down defense force in a country that is exposed to threats, or a secure country with secure border that is able to stand up and defend? Mr. Deputy Speaker, current challenges include theft in our fisheries resources, illegal fishing within the 3 million square kilometers of ocean space we have. We have one of the richest fishing grounds on planet Earth because of the outflow into the Bismarck Sea from our Sepik discharge, Ramu discharge, Makam discharge, and all our river discharge into our ocean areas. Our fish resource is second to none. 20 to 30% of global yellowfin tuna supply from our waters. Unaccounted for fisheries, illegal fishing, unaccounted for vessels entering our sovereign space. whether it's ocean vessels or air vessels that come into a sovereign space, bringing in and out illegal items, as well as drugs, guns, and all this peddling, if not prevented today, will not only just persist, but thrive and grow. And so it is the duty of any leadership team, not just myself, to find at the very earliest capacities, systems, help to assist, negate, stop, and secure our borders so that we can work that space going forward. The negative results are very clear, Mr. Speaker. Persistent external security threats, inadequate border protection, internal insecurity, and increasingly vulnerable population. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is really in this foresight that national government has acted decisively. And I want to say the treaty was not proposed to us by Australians. In the interest of securing our insecurity, we proposed to the Australians to elevate from the 2013 Defence Cooperation Agreement to a defence treaty, where we can have two houses, but one security fence. It is in this context, two houses, but one security fence. Some things we can never change, my brothers and my sisters, ladies, today. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, you can never change history and you can never change geography. Two things you can never change, history and geography. And for us, for better or for worse, our history and geography is intertwined with Australia, as it was in the past, as it is today, and whether we like it or not, going forward forever and forever into the future until Jesus comes for a new planet Earth. Mr. Speaker, it is with this line of thought that my government, assisted by the coalition government we have, and all members of parliament, they gave their considered blessing as we work this treaty. Today it is my honor to table this treaty as one of the first activities after the 50th anniversary in the reset of our country as we step forward in the face of domestic and external insecurities. We're tabling this treaty to this honorable House. For you leaders, power remains on us. We could quickly table and pass it today because government has absolute number on our side, but with greatest respect to all leaders of the House. It is a matter that concerns all of us. I will table the treaty on the table. All of you pick up the treaty documents, have a read through those treaties, and if there is any question whatsoever as we table this treaty, the Foreign Affairs team, the Defense team, and my team are ready on standby to assist in going through any questions leaders may have, community may have, students may have, or civil society may have, or people may have in respect to what this treaty is all about. In summary, I want to say, in a nutshell, this treaty is all about really securing the borders we have and the people of our country. And to conclude, Mr. Speaker, this treaty is a forward-looking agreement to strengthen Papua New Guinea's national defense capacity and regional security. It is not a treaty for conflict. It is built on mutual respect and enhanced deep cooperation for the next 50 years, fundamentally strengthening our own security as we also work to strengthen Australian security, living side by side as we walk together step by step going forward as partners of past, partners today, and building on the trust and reliability we've had in the last 50 years and beyond to go forward into the future. This treaty fully complies with our Constitution and is now subject to the final crucial debate and ratification of this Parliament. Once ratified, this agreement will be fully enforceable under international law. This August House is to take note that our founding fathers built this house called PNG and inked a fence around it called the Sovereign National Boundaries of PNG that is to be manned or has been manned by PNG Defence Force. Unfortunately, in the last 50 years, we have eroded the capacity of PNG Defence Force. This is the total opposite of the 2001 scale down of PNG Defence Force. I want to inform and thank PNG Defence Force as we stand up on our 50th and beyond. To the soldiers, past and present, of PNG Defence Force, as your #1 servant, I want to say thank you for flying the flag of our country. Plenty time, long wara, long solwara, long up, you go, lose him life, you stop. Thank you, long work for you. You may enter in this law treaty now. In the heart and soul of it is the PNG Defence Force. Better paid, better equipped, better resourced, a force capable of carrying the pride and flag of the sovereignty called Papua New Guinea today. Look at Israel, Mr. Deputy Speaker. 70 years ago, a smaller nation, half the size of Sepik province, equivalent the size of Angoram district, the entire nation, 70 years ago, chose by their leaders to enter into deliberate partnership with USA. Leaders back then made the decision 70 years ago. 70 years later, in conflict, because they made the choice to stand with USA 70 years ago. Rain, sun, whatever it is, USA stands with Israel today in the face of enemy, left, right, and center. My brothers and my sisters, politics we can play, but future security of our country we must not play. Our generation will be judged on interventions we make today, whether we secure our country or let our country remain fragile and broken down by the many divides we have in our country. I urge all of us, 2 houses, 1 fence. The house connotes our sovereignty. Fence connotes our ability and capability to stand in defense of not just PNG Australia space, but a vast ocean space. Together with Australia, PNG says the leadership podium, the entire Pacific space, the biggest ocean space on the face of planet Earth. We are ready to position ourselves as leader of not just Pacific or PNG, but the entire ocean space. This is building our capacity to place PNG, the only nation, PIF nation that is intertwined with Southeast Asia by land, closest to Southeast Asia and Asia. Investing in defense is a security investment. Investing in defense is a deterrent. Investing in defense is investing in prosperity in a secure future. I ask for the convergence of all our hearts on 2 sides and minds of this House. Look into this treaty with a positivity. Whilst we will pick some dots and ticks and make assessments, this insight to my country doesn't compromise our Constitution. Our Constitution allows for such treaty. We make this choice based on history, based on geography, and based on uncertainty the future holds for us, without compromising our friendship to all nations we relate with. And so I ask all of us for a convergence of all our hearts and minds, read this treaty. And again, in respect to all leaders, on my side, the 100+ leaders I have on the government side who've been faithful, and the 20+ leaders on the opposite side. In respect to you and the fact that you're a leader at present generation, read the treaty. If you have any question, we could organize questions, go to them, construct these treaties. We come back in Parliament when we next convene. In respect to convention, this treaty will be on the table for 10 to 12 days, and then when this Parliament convene again within the provisions of law, hopefully all of you would have given support to this treaty. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I seek leave of this House to table this treaty to this August Parliament. Our first duty as we step into the next 50th and debate be made out of the day for a subsequent sitting.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. And those against say no. Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the statute I present a treaty document relating to the treaty between the independent state of Papua New Guinea and the Federated State of Micronesia concerning maritime boundaries and cooperation on related matters, 1991, and the 2015 amendment to the treaty. Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to make a statement in connection with that treaty.
Is that leave granted?
Aye.
Minister, make your statement.
Mr. Speaker and members of this Honourable House, it gives me great pleasure to inform Parliament of the decision of the Cabinet as a result of the policy submission to introduce the treaty between the independent state of Papua New Guinea and the Federated States of Micronesia concerning maritime boundaries and cooperation on related matters, 1991, and the amendment to Treaty 2015. The treaty will establish permanently the maritime boundary of the two countries, within which both countries will exercise sovereign rights within their respective maritime borders or territories, with respect to exploration, exploitation of their seas and seabed resources. The treaty will also enable cooperation between both countries in the exploration, exploitation, conservation of the sea resources in the exclusive economic zone, highly migrative species or seabed resources, which both may have jurisdiction over. The purpose of introducing these two instruments is for Parliament to approve PNG signing the treaty and becoming the state party to the treaty. The independent state of Papua New Guinea and the Federated States of Micronesia, FSM, initially signed the treaty in the Federated States of Micronesia on the 30th of July, 1991. It became apparent after the signing of the treaty that there is typographical errors in reference to north and south latitudes in the list of geographical coordinates in Apex 1 of the treaty. These typographic errors were eventually rectified and in a series of meetings held between the parties. These meetings were held within the margins of the annual Maritime Boundary Delimitation Working Sessions in Sydney between 2012 and 2015 period. Both parties also undertook reviews and adjusted their respective baselines and maritime zones, which also needed to be incorporated in the list of geographical coordinates and Apex 1 of the amendment. The parties mutually agreed to review the updated list of geographical coordinates in Apex 1 of the treaty to reflect the updated technical information. PNG, under the Maritime Boundary Delimitation Project, was established in the Department of Justice and Attorney General to implement Cabinet directives in NEC Decision 12496. That directive set the basis of review of Papua New Guinea's baseline and regeneration of the maritime zones based on UN standards, hereby the coordinates declared under the National Seas Act 1977, where the review, considering the number of technical errors therein, the updated baseline and maritime zones have now been incorporated in the new Maritime Zones Act of 2015 as schedules of coordinates. The new legislation was enhanced by Parliament in July 2015. In 2014, the parties agreed on the endpoints of both exclusion economic zone lines of each country, which did not intersect. Discussions undertaken were successfully completed within the margins of the 2015 Sydney Maritime Boundary Working Session in Australia. Technical officials from both countries agreed to signing of the amendments to the treaty would be within the margins of Pacific Islands Forum meeting hosted in Port Moresby. The amendment was signed by the then Prime Minister of the Independent State of Papua New Guinea, Honourable Peter O'Neill, and the President of the Federated States of Micronesia, Honourable Peter Christian, on the 7th of September 2015 in Port Moresby within the margins of the Pacific Island Forum meeting. Mr. Speaker, the passing of the solid instrument will make the boundaries of Papua New Guinea become binding on all states upon ratification and entry into force of the treaty. Section 2.2 of the Constitution states, sovereignty of independent state of Papua New Guinea over its territories and over its natural resources of its territories is and shall remain an absolute subject only to such obligations at international as they are freely accepted by Papua New Guinea in accordance with the constitutionality. It is vital that the boundaries are correct, as it has an impact on Papua New Guinea's overall sovereignty, jurisdiction and territorial space. The government's reputation at the international and regional levels will only be positive as Papua New Guinea has, in a spirit of friendship and friendliness and cooperation and success, concluded negotiations in its maritime border with its neighbouring states. Mr. Speaker, with that I thank the Department of Justice and Attorney General for taking the lead with the drafting of the bill and implementing project and activities through the auspices of the PNG Maritime Border Delimitation Project in partnership with my Department of Foreign Affairs, and with consultation support of key stakeholders of department agencies as Department of Lands, Office of National Mapping Bureau, National Fisheries Authority, National Maritime Safety Authority, just to name a few. Special mention must be made to the National Fisheries Authority, who have been funding the project on behalf of the national government, and I'd like to thank externally partners as well, such as the Pacific Islands Applied Geosciences and Technology Division of the South Pacific Community, Commonwealth Secretariat, the Department, Australian Department of Justice and Attorney General, and Geosciences Australia. Mr. Speaker, I therefore present these two instruments to the Honourable House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Minister for Fisheries.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I move to take note of the paper and do a statement in support of the Minister of Foreign Affairs on this treaty.
Make your debate.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, this treaty is very important for Papua New Guinea. When the Marape Rostock government is transitioning from a country that is just exporting natural resources, we want to bring it into the Pacific region as a processing country. And the whole region is working with us to make sure that everything that we do, all the fish that we get in our Pacific waters is processed within our region. At this point of time, every fish that is caught, mostly in the Pacific region,
is exported to other countries. And then they are processed there. And then you raise the GDP of those countries. This treaty, and I thank the Minister for Foreign Affairs for bringing it in, this gives us the partnership with the Pacific Island nations. We've already signed partnerships of processing within our country. We are in the process of getting our domestication policy in place. This treaty will cement the relationships we have going into the future. We will no longer be the ones that export the fish out to other countries so that they will make money. We will be the processing hub of the Pacific so that the money stays within the region. This is the aim of the Marape Rosso government, to ensure that the Pacific can stand on its own. We no longer want to be beggars. We have the natural resource. We own the natural resource. It is going to be ours to dictate how we process and how much it costs to sell to the world. What we've done in going to all these Pacific islands and bringing them together, we are putting them, giving them a foundation that allows them to think for themselves. They may not be as big as Papua New Guinea, but we have a government that is trying to make sure that everyone around us is healthy. Everyone around us is wealthy, just through natural resource. If you look at it, suppose you stop your house, now neighbors play you na siran good one them you, but you have a mas na stop or no gan. No gan. So you help to build your neighbors so that you yourself will grow. With that, I want to thank the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I want to thank the Marape Rosso government for pushing this through, and I look forward to the future of processing in our country. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I won't be long. Short time taso. Me like speak in support of this treaty. I'm good pla treaty. Taso two pla talk taso na ba mi finish. Ministerial statements. Prime Minister just presented his paper, and now we have the Minister for Foreign Affairs presenting his paper. These are very important papers presented to this floor. Now, just for in-house matters, before I get into my debate, I think it would be very important and for handset purposes that when you present your reports, it goes before Cabinet and it comes to this Parliament, that you sign them. These are just in-house matters. Awesome, little talk me, because it's presented for the benefit of the country that this statement should be signed. Awesome, so it may not be conventional, but it is very important. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, me like participate law. This is a treaty that is signed by ministers. This is a treaty regarding country blaming, not Pacific country, friends blaming or neighbors blaming. Mr. Speaker, I do concur with Minister Fisheries in his presentation. Because something like treaties, and I did mention this, the media captured it. There was a lot of talk on this. So this is a treaty now, fisheries. It brings great benefit for a country. Number one, Mr. Speaker, is that employment remains in our country. Employment remains in the country. These are the type of treaties that when we sign whatever treaty it is, be it with our neighbors in Australia or Indonesia or whichever country around the Pacific, that the benefits of that treaty must come back to benefit in Papua New Guineans. Now, when you look at employment figures here, and I agree with the Minister for Fisheries, it brings great benefit back to our people in terms of processing in our own country, employment in our own country, even tax payment coming back to our country. Time you are going to sign more treaty, that should be at the back of your mind. That number one, that benefits must come back to Papua New Guinea. You know, sign him, na employment goal on a plan. Sign him so that our people get employed. The Marape Rosso government has been talking about employment. Figures must increase, that the employment numbers look good for us. So time you may sign him a treaty, you must have some employment must come back to Papua New Guinea. A lot of our young men and women are educated today. They get educated, they get their degrees, and where do they end up? All go back, low place blame me. All go back now working little work, blow, agriculture and fisheries, now something, supporting our parents. But we must create the opportunity. In budgets that we present, we must stimulate those opportunities. And some of those stimulation packages come through our treaties that we sign. Time you sign a treaty, you may talking all people right throughout the world that we are signing this treaty so that all people get empowered. SMEs get empowered. These treaties must cover wide range of opportunities or Papua New Guineans believe me. So, Mr. Speaker, also I won't be long, but I thank you that you have signed a treaty that brings back more opportunities for Papua New Guineans, and that is the way forward for this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that a question be put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted?
Aye.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I move that in accordance with Section 1175A of the Constitution, this Parliament waivers Section 1173 of the Constitution, which requires treaty documents to be presented to Parliament for at least 10 sitting days before Papua New Guinea can be bound as a party, is so far as the provision applies to ratification of the treaty between the independent state of Papua New Guinea and the federated state of Micronesia concerning maritime boundaries and cooperation on related matters 1991 and 2015 amendments to the treaty.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. The motion must be supported by the absolute majority of 60 members. Would those in favor of the motion please stand? Honourable members, you may be seated. We have the absolute majority in support. Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to statute, I present the Foreign Policy White Paper 2025. Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to make a statement in connection with the paper.
Is leave granted? Minister, make your speech.
Mr. Speaker, it's an absolute honour for me, on behalf of as Minister for Foreign Affairs and Minister of, and being a part of the Marape Rosso government, to rise in this Honourable House to introduce to you all Papua New Guinea's Foreign Policy White Paper. The last White Paper was developed and endorsed in 1981, nearly 40 years ago, under the theme, active and selective engagement. In 2022, the Marape Rosso government recognised the need to review PNG's foreign policy to provide an up-to-date, modern and relevant foreign policy framework. It is my utmost privilege as Minister to inform the House that the people of Papua New Guinea and the people of Papua New Guinea of the successful completion of the Papua New Guinea Foreign Policy White Paper, and to further seek your support and endorsement of this very important policy document. Mr. Speaker, I present to you the 2025 Foreign Policy White Paper. This Foreign Policy White Paper is a roadmap in articulating Papua New Guinea's evolving foreign policy direction in an increasing, complex and dynamic international landscape, with the theme, Strategic Partnerships for Security and Economic Prosperity. I repeat that again. With the theme, Strategic Partnerships for Security and Economic Prosperity. The policy aligns Papua New Guinea's international engagement with its domestic goals, asserting a confident, principled and pragmatic role in our country on the global stage. It reinforces the foundational doctrine of friends to all, enemies to none, while adapting a contemporary message. With Mr. Speaker, the foreign policy should be seen as an extension of domestic policy, with a core aim of improving citizens' lives through global engagement. At its heart, with this foreign policy aims to promote national security, economic prosperity, social well-being, and a sense of national unity through dynamic partnerships and purposeful diplomacy. The policy affirms Papua New Guinea's identity as a responsible global citizen and a regional leader in the Pacific. Mr. Speaker, we live in a time of global uncertainty and disruption defined by a complex interplay of rapid technology advancement, shifting geopolitical power dynamics, and persistent social economic changes. Our nation's strategic location between the Pacific and Asia, our resource wealth, our young growing population position as a bridge and a partner of choice. Domestically, Papua New Guinea seeks to consolidate peace, expand infrastructure under Connect PNG, diversify the economy and harness new technologies. Still, challenges remain. Governance, institutional capacity, law and order, and climate vulnerability all require international cooperation. Mr. Speaker, Papua New Guinea's foreign policy is grounded in a foundation of care, values and principles, including Melanesian values of diversity, resilience and mutual respect, Christian principles, constitutional democracy and human rights, and sovereignty and reciprocal peace and coexistence, and constructive internationalism. Mr. Speaker, I present the 8 strategic pillars that enable an effective foreign policy. The Department of Foreign Affairs is a key government agency responsible for overseeing, coordinating and implementing this policy. Even so, many departments and agencies have a role in our international relations. The White Paper identifies 8 whole-of-government pillars which mutually reinforce each other and which enable a successful and effective foreign policy, and these are as follows. Bilateral relationships. Bilateral diplomacy will focus on key partners: Australia, Indonesia, China, Japan, Asian countries, the Pacific Island neighbours, US and European countries, to drive development, security and economic interests. Reciprocally and mutual benefits will be the driving principles for us. Number two, effective multilateralism. Regional and multilateral cooperation is essential for the leveraging of Papua New Guinea international influence on all key issues, with the bodies like UN, WTO, APEC, PIF and MSG are vital to our interests. However, we must be selective in how we are to engage, or we will engage, where we support reform of global institutions such as the UN Security Council and aspire to join ASEAN with the strength of persistence in leadership positions regionally and globally. Number three, robust institutions that protect our sovereignty and security. Papua New Guinea will upgrade defence and police operational capabilities, enhance border and maritime security, build a resilience against non-traditional threats like cyber attacks and climate change, working closely with key security partners, including Australia and the US. Economic commercial diplomacy. Papua New Guinea will strategically position as a key economic and diplomatic player in the Pacific region, facilitating international trade and investment agreements are crucial parts of diplomacy, along with appropriate domestic policy reforms can help grow our economy, reduce reliance on foreign aid and create jobs. Development cooperation. The government's Development Cooperation Policy 3, 2025 to 2030 emphasizes ownership, alignment and national priorities and equal partnerships, aid build capacity, be transparent and support inclusive and sustainable growth. National branding and soft power. We will be strengthened perceptions of our country. A strong national brand will build our reputation as a good place to visit and invest, as an international competitive economic partner, and as a reliable and responsible member of the international community. A stronger, more confident brand on international stage will also help build our own sense of national consensus and pride. Departmental and diplomatic reform. To advance Papua New Guinea's global interests, the Department of Foreign Affairs and its overseas missions are undergoing a crucial modernisation of its operations. These reforms include staffing expansion, upgrading ICT, a new Foreign Service Act, a proposed diplomatic academy. As a result, the missions abroad will be better resourced and better focused on more core bilateral and multilateral interests, as well as providing improved support for our citizens. Leadership and coordination. Foreign policy implementation will be strengthened through the whole of the government coordination and support. Evidence-based decision-making, parliament oversight, institutional reviews, and closer engagement with stakeholders outside of government. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the White Paper outlines a foreign policy for a self-assured Papua New Guinea, grounded in our national values and principles, responsive to global changes, and dedicated to achieving peace, prosperity, and international respect. Through principal partners and strategic investments in our institutions, we are collectively positioning Papua New Guinea as the regional leader and constructive player on the world stage. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to your collaboration in ensuring this policy is implemented effectively across government, reflecting our shared commitment to Papua New Guinea's prosperity, security, and global structure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I commend the 2025 Papua New Guinea Foreign Policy White Paper entitled Strategic Partnerships for Security and Economic Prosperity to this Parliament. Thank you so much.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice. Sorry. Mr. Deputy Speaker, take note of the paper and then move debate to a further date.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I move that so much of the standing orders be suspended as would prevent A, notice number 175, B, orders of the day numbers 163, 164, and 165, government business being called on forthwith.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Notice number 175, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands, Physical Planning, Urbanization and Immigration.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Land, Physical Planning, Urbanization and Immigration.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Passport Bill 2025.
Clerk.
First reading. A bill for an act to A, provide for the issuance and administration of Papua New Guinea passports and travel documents, and B, repeal and replace the Passports Act, Chapter 17, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Lands, Physical Planning, Urbanization and Immigration.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be read a second time.
Make your speech, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to present to this Honourable House the Passports Bill 2025 for its second reading. As a Minister responsible for immigration and border security, one of my key result areas is to ensure that Papua New Guinea's legal framework on passports is modern, effective, and internationally compatible. The current Passport Act 1982 and the Passport Regulation 1983 are outdated and no longer meet contemporary standards. They contain legislative gaps and do not adequately address emerging issues in identity management, border control, and international cooperation. Mr. Speaker, the review of the Passport Act is aligned again with Ministerial Key Result Area number 2 on effective border management, which in turn contributes to the government's broader development goals under Vision 2050, the PNG Strategic Development Plan 2010 to 2030, and the Medium-Term Development Plan number 4. Effective border management is essential to protect our national security, uphold the rule of law, and regulate the movement of persons into and out of our country. In recognition of these priorities, a joint technical working group comprising of officers from the Immigration and Citizenship Service Authority and the Office of the State Solicitor was established in 2022. This working group conducted a thorough review and gap analysis of the current legislative framework. After more than 5 review lockdowns, public consultations, and validation workshops, the working group commended and recommended a complete repeal and replacement of the outdated Passport Act and its regulation, basically updating it. The outcome of this process is the Passports Bill 2025, which I now bring before this Honourable House. Mr. Speaker, Papua New Guinea has been a member of the International Civil Aviation Organization since 1975, yet our domestic laws on passports have not kept pace with ICAO standards and global best practice. The new bill seeks to provide a robust and modern legal basis for the issuance and administration of passports and other travel documents, ensuring that our laws meet international obligations whilst also serving our national interest. The principal objectives of the Passport Bill 2025 are to 1. Provide for the issuance and administration of PNG passports as evidence of identity and citizenships for our citizens travelling abroad. 2. Provide for the issuance of travel documents in special circumstances to citizens and eligible non-citizens such as refugees, asylum seekers, stateless persons consistent with PNG's international obligations. 3. Establish a comprehensive regulatory framework to improve process, strengthen enforcement, and enhance accountability in the administration of passports and travel documents. Mr. Speaker, allow me to highlight the key features of the bill. It repeals and replaces the Passport Act 1982 in its entirety. It introduces a modern legal framework governing PNG passports and travel documents. It establishes clear eligibility criteria for the issuance of passports and travel documents. It regulates the activities of passport agents, imposing obligations to safeguard the confidentiality of personal information and data. It establishes a passport review panel to provide independent review of decisions relating to the refusal or cancellation of passports and travel documents. It creates offences and penalties that are proportionate and act as deterrents against fraud, forgery, or abuse of travel documents. It aligns passport administration with national security, border protection, and international law enforcement cooperation. It provides for the setting of maximum fees that the Immigration and Citizenship Service Authority, ICSA, may charge for applications and processes under this legislation. Mr. Speaker, extensive public consultations were undertaken in Mount Hagen, Kokopo, Alatau, Vanimo, and Port Moresby to ensure that the views of our people and stakeholders were heard. Feedback from these consultations have been incorporated into this bill now before Parliament. A study tour was also undertaken at the Australian Passports Office in February 2023 to draw from international best practice. The Passport Bill 2025 is therefore the result of careful technical review, public consultation, and alignment with international standards. It represents a critical step forward in ensuring that Papua New Guinea has a strong, modern, and credible passport regime that protects our borders, upholds our sovereignty, and facilitates the lawful movement of people. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I commend the Passport Bill 2025 to this Honourable House, and I urge all members to support its passage. Thank you.
Question is that the question be put. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The question is that the bill now be read the second time. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Second reading. A bill for an act to A, provide for the issuance and administration of Papua New Guinea passports and travel documents, and B, repeal and replace the Passports Act, Chapter 17, and for related purposes.
Honourable members, I have to announce that I have received a message from His Excellency, the Governor-General, dated 20 November 2025, recommending the imposition of the taxation in accordance with Section 210 of the Constitution, insofar as the bill relates to and provide for such imposition. Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is the leave granted? Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a third time.
The question is that the question be put. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read the third time. In accordance with constitutional requirement, the bill must be passed by an absolute majority of 60 members. Clerk, please ring the bell. Attendants, close the door. The question is that the bill be now read the third time. Would those in favour please stand? Would those against please stand? Honorable members, the result of the vote. Those in favor of the bill, 83, and noes, 0. Clerk.
Third reading. A bill for an act to A, provide for the issuance and administration of Papua New Guinea passports and travel documents, and B, repeal and replace the Passports Act, Chapter 17, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to give my thanks and appreciation to both sides of the House for their full support in passing this important amendment to upgrade our passport systems and move it towards an electronic process. We will also be bringing a couple more bills to the Honourable House and expect your support in trying to amend some of our old legislation and improve it for the efficiency of passports, amending our Citizenship Act, and a couple of other very important legislation we're bringing before this House. So thank you once again for both sides of the House. Appreciate the support.
Minister for Provincial Clerk.
Order of the day, number 163, Organic Law on Provincial Governments and Local Level Governments, Amendment Law 2025, Minister for Provincial and Local Government Affairs, third reading, second required opportunity for debate and second vote.
Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs. Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. In accordance with Standing Order 22F, I move that the proposed law be now read a third time and commence the second required opportunity for debate. This one now.
The question is that the question be put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. And those against are no. Ayes have it. Honourable members, as this is the second vote, the Constitution required that the vote must be recorded and that in order for the proposed law to pass, it must be supported by the two-thirds absolute majority of 79 members. Honourable members, the Parliament will now vote. Clerk, please ring the bell. Honourable Governor, the vote is already in process and the bell is ringing for vote, and that will not allow for any point of order. Attendants, close the door. The question is the proposed law without amendment be now agreed to. Those in favor, please stand. Those against, please stand. Honourable members, those in vote in favour 84 and against 0. Clerk.
Third reading, a proposed law to alter the organic law on provincial governments and local level governments and for related purposes.
Clerk. Clerk.
Order of the day, number 164. Constitutional Amendment, General Provision for Constitutional Office Holders, Law 2025, Minister for Justice and Attorney General, second reading, first required opportunity for debate and first vote.
Minister for Justice and Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 222B, I now commence the first required opportunity to debate.
Make your speech.
Mr. Deputy Speaker and the honourable members of this House, this is one of those bills that is relating to three-tie court system. So I will bring a couple of more in the next reading. But this has to go first in order to make constitutional amendments to create and other bills to bring it in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, okay, I know I'm going to read this first one. Mr. Deputy Speaker, members of this Honourable House, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the proposed organic law, the two bills, proposed organic law on employment of judges, which will repeal and replace the organic law on the terms and conditions of judges 1972, and a proposed law to amend sections 2 to 3 of the Constitution of Papua New Guinea, which will allow an act of Parliament to provide for pensions of retirement benefits for judges. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the proposed organic law on employment of judges Mr. Deputy Speaker, the proposed law to amend Section 2.3 of the Constitution. The current Section 2.3 of the Constitution imposes a strict limitation on Parliament's authority by restricting it to enacting an organic law solely for the purposes of providing for pensions or retirement benefits for judges by enacting the pension or retirement benefits for judges. By enacting the Judges Pensions Act, amongst others, Parliament went beyond the authority imposed by the Constitution. As such, Judges Pensions Act was deemed unconstitutional in the Supreme Court application by Gano in Re 2016 PJSC 81. The proposed law to amend Section 2 to 3 of the Constitution seeks to authorize an act of Parliament to regulate judges' pension 1997, which this Honourable House will have to pass after the proposed law to amend Section 2 to 3 of the Constitution is passed. I must, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I must commend the judiciary that even though they know that by declaring the Judges Pension Act unconstitutional, it will affect the future entitlements in the form of pension. And they strictly applied the intention of the law, which ultimately affected them. It is now the duty of this Honourable House to correct this. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Honourable House members, in accordance with Section 14 of the Constitution and 222B of the Standing Orders of Parliament, the organic law on the employment of judges and proposed law on to amend the Section 223 of the Constitution were gazetted 1 month prior to this introducing into this Parliament. I look forward to support by fellow members of this House to consider these proposed laws and pass them as our duty to lawmakers for the country. With this, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is one of those, I must let me make it clear that Supreme Court made law unconstitutional, the Judges Pensions Act. So that's why this is brought again, so that we can fix it and then judges will get their pensions. With that, I hereby commend the bills to this Honourable House and seek your support. Thank you.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I move that Parliament take note of this, and I wish to offer my support to this amendment, this constitutional amendment that we are trying to make, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Judges in our country are the most isolated people by the meaning and sanctity of the workplace. They don't have additional revenues, they don't mingle around, they don't meet friends, and so it is only fair that we give them the right respect they deserve. And I thank members on both sides when this government proposed for a 3-tier higher court system. In a country 50 years on, over 10 million people, very diverse, very litigious. There's a heavy need for our courts to carry arbitrations, mediations, and dispute resolutions in our country. The hardworking minister has been bringing reforms to make sure our judiciary is strengthened, our judges are looked after, we increase capacity in our judiciary, and to make sure they quickly adjudicate on matters presented before them. And I beg both sides of the House to give support to the minister. This is to commensurate our judges for the long time they put into arbitrating disputes in our country. And I want to ask all of us to give support. The judges are most qualified. Most of them have postgraduate degrees. They sit and read laws, and we have to honor them by making sure their pensions are okay. They know in terms of as they finish their service to the country, they are well looked after in their retirement. And this law is proposed for us to amend the Constitution so that the congruent subsequent legislations could be congruent to a Constitution that is already amended. The amendment of Section 223 of our Constitution is in order. The Minister seeks our support. Our judiciary deserves greater support. We are now increasing judiciary from what used to be 40-men higher court judge. We've now already amended, this Parliament has amended to give anywhere between 60 to 200 judges. We're recruiting judges from externally, from Australia, from Indonesia, I beg your pardon, New Zealand, and from competent jurisdictions that is similar to ours to make sure we got more judges enough to run it. And I know some of you will be concerned on the cost overrun, but I want to say there is no better place in investing than investing in the judiciary, investing in judges' welfare to make sure they know they are secured in terms of their own personal upkeep, and they sit in there adjudicating on disputes that arises in our country. So I just want to ask all of us to give support to our judges. Thank you too much, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the question be put. Those in favor say aye. And those against say no. Ayes have it. The question is that the proposed law be read the second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Second reading, a proposed law to alter the Constitution and for related purposes.
Minister for Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to move the proposed law without amendments forthwith.
Is leave granted? Minister for Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I move that the proposed law without amendment be agreed to.
The question is that the proposed law without amendment be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. And those against say no. Ayes have it. Honorable members, as this is the first vote, the Constitution requires that the vote must be recorded, and that is in order for the proposed law to pass. It must also be supported by the two-thirds absolute majority of 79 members. Honorable members, the Parliament will now vote. Clerk, ring the bell. Tenants, close the door. The question is that the proposed law with amendment be now agreed to. Without amendments now be agreed to. Those in favor, please stand. Those against, please stand. Honorable members, those who voted in favor of the bill, 81, noes, 0. Honorable members, in accordance with Standing Order 222E, I now order the third reading, which is the second required opportunity for debate and the second vote, be adjourned for at least 2 months, this day as required by the Constitution. Clerk.
Order of the day number 165, Organic Law on the Employment of Judges, Amendment Law 2025, Minister for Justice and Attorney General. Second reading, first vote, first required opportunity and debate at first vote.
Minister for Justice, Attorney General.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 222B, I now commence the first required opportunity for debate.
Make your speech.
Once again, Mr. Speaker and members of this Honourable House, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce the proposed organic law on employment of judges, which will repeal and replace the organic law on the terms and conditions of judges. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the proposed law on employment of judges repeals and replaces the current organic law on the terms and conditions of employment of judges to capture the intentions of the policy decision by ensuring that the proposed organic law on the employment of judges implements the new section 167, 168, and 170 of the Constitution that was already approved by this Honourable House. The proposed organic law on employment of judges is essential for the effective implementation of the new High Court restructure to raise the qualification of the requirements for the judges for the three different high courts. Set out a clear opportunity processes substantive and temporary, aimed at strengthening the credibility of the appointment of judges for the High Court. Elaborate on the role of assistant judges to the National Court as envisages under Section 167 of the Constitution. Save the current terms of serving judges who will be judges of the National Court on the same terms and conditions as per the Salaries and Remuneration Commission determinations in 2022, and enable the Judiciary and Legal Services Commission to appoint current serving judges to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, while administratively the steps are taken to ensure the substantive appointments are made in accordance with the new process under law. The proposed organic law on the employment of judges is the next step, essential towards the full realization of the High Court restructure. Honourable members, this new law will enable where we can put the judges to Legal Services Commission, Judicial and Legal Services Commission will appoint judges, different levels of judges into the National Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court. So that is important that we do it properly and we appoint judges according to their qualifications, and we will scrutinize and appoint them. So this is important, and I ask honourable members to support this, please.
The question is that the question be put. Those in favor say aye. And those against say no. Ayes have it. The question is that the proposed law be read the second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Second reading, a proposed law to implement sections 165, 167, 168, 169, 3A and 170 of the Constitution, and B, repeal and replace the organic law on the terms and conditions of employment of judges 1972 and for related purposes.
Minister for Justice.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I ask the leave of the Parliament to move the proposed law without amendments forthwith.
Is leave granted? Minister for Justice.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I move that the proposed law without amendments to be agreed to.
The Honourable Member for Sinisena Yangumu. Honourable Member for Sinisena Yangumul, I just got clarification for the clerk that we have already passed debate. It will be, the amendment law will be proposed for the third next reading, which that can require debate. So now we have already passed that, so I would not allow for a debate. Thank you. The question is that the question be put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Honourable members, as this is the first vote, the Constitution requires that the vote must be recorded, and that is that in order for the proposed law to pass, it must also be supported by a two-thirds absolute majority of 79 members. Honourable members, the Parliament will now take the vote. Clerk, please ring the bell. Attendance, Pasim Dua. Those in favor, please stand. Would those against please stand? Honourable members, those in support of the proposed Bill 82 and noes 0. We have the support of the proposed law. Therefore, honourable members, in accordance with Standing Order 222E, I now order the third reading, which is the second required opportunity for debate, and the second vote be adjourned for at least 2 months, this day as required by the Constitution.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I take this opportunity to thank you and the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Opposition Leader and Deputy Opposition Leader and members of Parliament for giving us support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, before I move for Parliament to adjourn to tomorrow, just 2 announcements. DATACO will be doing a presentation in the State Function Room this afternoon at 2:30. All members are required to go and learn about what the DATACO is doing in our country. And also the important one is tomorrow at 8:30. Please, all members, be present for Ombudsman Commission to do a presentation at the State Function Room tomorrow morning at 8:30. With that, I now move that Parliament do adjourn to tomorrow 10 a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. And those against say no. Honourable members, I now adjourn Parliament to tomorrow 10 o'clock a.m.